Sometimes in life, what seems like our greatest weakness can actually become the reason for our greatest strength. Today's story is about a little bird who was born with a broken wing, and how this very weakness, which seemed like a curse at first, turned into his greatest blessing. Listen carefully, because this story will remind you how to transform your own flaws into power. In a peaceful village surrounded by tall trees and golden fields, a baby sparrow was born. But unlike the other chicks in the nest, this sparrow had a broken wing. The other birds chirped happily, testing their feathers, flapping their wings, preparing for their first flights. But this little one, he could barely stretch one side. The mother sparrow was worried. She whispered, "How will my child ever fly? How will he survive in this world?" The other chicks teased him, "You'll never soar like us. You'll never touch the sky." And deep inside, the little sparrow believed them. Days turned into weeks. The siblings flew freely, hopping from branch to branch, tasting freedom. The little sparrow, however, was confined to the nest or the ground. Every time he tried to fly, he stumbled, crashed, and fell. His feathers became dirty. His body was bruised. He felt ashamed. One day, he asked his mother, "Why was I born like this? Why am I not like the others?" His mother replied gently, "My child, life gives each of us a different path. Don't hate your broken wing. One day, you'll understand its purpose." But at that moment, he didn't believe her. One afternoon, a strong storm swept across the forest. Lightning cracked, winds howled, and the other birds, who had flown far away, struggled to return home. The little sparrow, unable to fly, stayed close to the ground. He hid inside a hollow tree trunk, trembling but safe. When the storm finally passed, many birds returned injured. Some had been thrown against trees. Some had lost feathers. The little sparrow realized, "Because I couldn't fly, I was safe." For the first time, he saw a glimpse of meaning in his weakness. As weeks passed, the little sparrow noticed something else. Since he couldn't fly high, he spent more time on the ground. And there, he discovered food others ignored, seeds hidden under leaves, worms crawling in the soil. Soon, the other birds who were too tired from flying began to depend on him. "Little sparrow, can you find us something to eat?" And he did. He became an excellent food gatherer, far better than any bird who spent most of their time in the skies. The birds began to respect him. They saw that even though he couldn't fly like them, he had a talent they didn't. One summer, disaster struck. A fire broke out in the forest. Flames rose high, smoke filled the sky, and birds panicked, flying away as quickly as they could. But many chicks and smaller animals couldn't escape. The little sparrow saw them struggling, trapped on the ground. Because he was used to living close to the ground, he didn't panic. He knew the safe tunnels, the hidden burrows, and the quickest paths to water. He guided the chicks and animals to safety, one by one, leading them through routes only he knew. That day, he saved dozens of lives. The birds looked at him with admiration. "You may not fly high, but you are our hero." The little sparrow finally understood what his mother had told him. His broken wing wasn't a curse. It was his gift. Because he couldn't fly, he learned survival skills others never did. Because he stayed grounded, he saw opportunities others missed. And when the crisis struck, he became the savior. He stood tall, chest puffed, eyes shining. He whispered to himself, "My weakness was my greatest strength all along." Friends, this story of the little sparrow is not just about a bird. It is about all of us. Each of us has flaws, weaknesses, or struggles that make us feel less than others. Maybe you are shy. Maybe you failed an exam. Maybe you feel you are not talented enough. But remember, just like the sparrow, your weakness can guide you to a unique strength. The key is to stop comparing yourself to others